Chapter 18, Ethan's Love Bomb. Zoras Nitro. The Quinonia Cafe glowed under soft lantern light on the evening of September 29, 2025, its wooden tables alive with the hum of revival. Tony Bauer, the ex-Marxist turned fiery preacher, stepped inside, his eyes catching the glistening tears of patrons humming communion blues. The air was thick with emotion, a palpable shift from the revival's fire sparked by Selah's "Don't Harden Your Heart" and Charlie Kirk's martyrdom. Tony cornered Cade Wilder near the counter, his voice low but urgent. "What's up with everyone, Cade?" "They're all humming that song," eyes shining with emotion. Cade glanced out the window, nodding toward Zora May and Ethan walking up from their river prayer time, their silhouettes framed by the dusk. Who's the new dude?" Tony asked, eyebrow raised. Cade grinned, his Cajun drawl warm. "That's Ethan, the guy Zora scraped up off the streets of Memphis. We thought he was a conservative bot, spitting dry sermons. So, I dropped a lecture on him yesterday, 'bout serving up yummy manna instead. Never dreamed he'd drop a love bomb on us all that left us devastated. I can't even describe it, Tony. Sit with Elwanda, she gets this stuff better than me. I wept every tear out of my body, share. My well's drier than a levee in a drought." Tony chuckled, his heart stirred. "So, I better take a humble pill, shut my mouth, and open my heart?" Cade nodded. "Smart move. Even a commie can get a brain." Tony laughed, hustling off to find Elwanda on the porch, eager to hear about the communion that shook Quinonia. Zora May and Ethan entered the cafe, her heart aching with anticipation. She'd learned that when her lover prayed, he hatched a plan, often a love bomb. Ethan carried 2 steaming cups of coffee, one her favorite hazelnut blend, and settled beside her at a corner table, his eyes dreamy. Zora soaked it up, her voice playful but probing. "Okay, dreamy boy. You got a love bomb for me?" Ethan grinned, his gaze soft. "Maybe." "Well, wonder boy, you're making me wonder." Zora teased, leaning closer. "What are your hopes and dreams? Shaking the world with your podcasts?" "Close," Ethan replied, his voice steady but alive with passion. "I want to make historical novels and movies." Zora's eyes lit up, nearly hopping in her seat. "Oh, Ethan. Tell me about it." He leaned in, excitement building. "Here's a snippet from my proposed Paul the Apostle movie. We get to dig deep, research, you know. Paul's more complex than folks think. How did Saul's family become Roman citizens? Picture his great-grandfather working with Antipater." Zora chirped, cutting in, "You mean when Antipater rescued Julius Caesar?" Ethan's eyes widened, stunned. Well, yeah." He decided to probe deeper, sensing he might be in for a surprise. "We need folks to feel how the Jews saw the Macedonians, torturers, killers, when Paul got called to Macedon." Zora gasped, her mind racing. "Heavens, yes. The Greeks tortured and killed him. I never thought 'bout that. So, does Saul have a story of his ancestors fighting with the miraculous Jewish freedom fighters?" Ethan cocked his head, grinning. "Did you steal my notes?" Zora laughed, her voice bright. "No, honey. Seems like our minds have melted into one. So, oh my. Saul was a Benjamite, like King Saul." Ethan leaned closer, loving her fire. "What's the next bombshell, Zora?" "Well," she paused, eyes gleaming, "Jonathan was a Benjamite too. Maybe. Jonathan loved David, so our Paul loves our Messiah?" Ethan's heart raced. "Let me tell you how I'd serve it up to our kids, yummy manna, not dry Bible history." Zora froze, stunned. "Our kids?" Ethan's face flushed, caught off guard. "Zora, I'm so sorry. I dream about my future with you, and I jumped the gun." "Oh, not at all." Zora replied, her voice warm. "Ain't we at the stage where we should see if we agree 'bout raising kids? If we're compatible, a good match?" Ethan exhaled, relief washing over him. "Well, yeah. I grew up in a homeschooled family of 8 kids. My mama wore army boots, like the Mennonite girls in music videos. 8 kids. Zora's eyes widened, her head spinning. That's normal or smallish for you homeschoolers, huh? Yeah, huh, Ethan grinned. Dropped a few bombs on you, sweetheart. You okay? I know you're brilliant, a fantastic homeschooling mom, if I ain't scarier than a Memphis mob now. Zora's heart soared, her ideal, a big family, deep faith, unfolding. Rather than buy me rings, get me nice, black army boots, okay? Ethan laughed, his joy bubbling over. Finally, I'm unraveling the mystery named Zora, and you're more stunning than I dreamed. My dad made the next part funny, the story of Micah and Savannah, one of Saul's great-great-something grandparents. The Benjamites were nearly wiped out for their sin, hard up for wives, 'cause the other tribes swore not to give them any. Zora leaned in, captivated. They had to be sneaky, Ethan continued, but it was the worst-kept secret. At a certain time, Savannah and the girls danced under the moon. Dad said Micah and Savannah were making eyes, and he proposed politely. But Mama said, no, no, no. That ain't how it went. Zora's eyes sparkled, her emotional pot boiling. What did she say? Even godly girls got romantic fantasies. Micah was making eyes, and Savannah wanted to marry him. But in her tastiest fantasy, Micah sweeps her up, throws her over his shoulder, and takes off. Zora gasped, nearly spilling her coffee. Ethan. No. Your mama cooked it up that way? She was a smart one, Ethan replied, grinning. Warned us kids 'bout wild Bible stories they don't teach in Sunday school. Got us reading like little scholars. Zora burst out laughing, choking on her coffee. Ethan held her hand, steadying her as she recovered, handing her napkins. Yeah, Mama gave me a jump on that yummy manna concept. Saul's mama told him the story that way to balance the tribe's tragic sin. The war can't be sugar-coated, but she overwhelmed it with joy. Zora nodded, her mind racing. So, Saul knew the human potential for sin, but Micah and Savannah's story filled him with joy. And, don't some psalms say the Benjamites lead the way? Ethan's jaw dropped. What? Yeah, Zora replied, her voice bright. Psalm 68, God save on the worst folks. Paul quotes it, talking captivity captive, and the Greek Old Testament makes a big deal about it. Ethan plowed through Psalm 68 in his mind, Hebrew and Greek, confirming her words. And, wouldn't this be one of Paul's favorite psalms? Zora grinned, teasing. Well, I don't know, but didn't I reverse the Micah and Savannah roles by throwing you over my shoulder in Memphis? Ethan sputtered, coffee spraying, choking as Zora jumped up, patting his back and handing him napkins. When he recovered, she bent over, hugging him tightly, her voice soft. I love you so very, very much, Ethan. Ethan had dropped a nice love bomb. How was he to know he'd set off Zora's hot nitro? Ethan's heart swelled, their minds melted into one, their dreams of a future family and yummy manna storytelling aligning in Koinonia's revival fire. The true revolution, sparked by Selah's songs, Tony's preaching, Cade's swamp blues, and the Misfits' warrior faith, burned brighter, binding them to paradise.